Okay, students, this is S.K. Mehta with you in the revision part of our syllabus. And today we will discuss about the chapter 1 of geography, that is India size and location. So as you are aware about the India, because India is our country. So if we say that India is the one of the ancient civilization in the world, and India has achieved many socio-economic progress during the last 5 to 6 decades. It has moved, it has moved forward remarkably in some of the field like agriculture, industry, technology, and overall economic development. So So about the location, if we say India is a vast country, that also about that you are aware, and it is lying entirely in the northern hemisphere, and in this sense we can say it is lying entirely in northern hemisphere latitudinally and in eastern hemisphere longitudinally. And if we say about the extents, there are four extents. Two are latitudinal extents, two are longitudinal extents. Latitudinal extents, if we say that are southernmost latitude is 8 degree 4 north, and northernmost latitude that is 37 degree 6 north. So here north, and that is indicating that India's latitudinal extents are in northern hemisphere. Then about the longitudinal extent. So longitudinal extent, these are westernmost longitudinal extent, that is 68 degrees 7 east, and in the easternmost longitudinal extent, if we say, that is 97 degree 25 east. Then other than that, we know that Tropic of Cancer, that is also important latitude or important parallel, having the value 23 degree 30 north. This is dividing our country into almost two equal parts. Top one is, that is subtropical region, or above the Tropic of Cancer, that is subtropical region, and below this Tropic of Cancer line is tropical region. Then if we say to the southeast and southwest of the mainland of our country, it lies Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep Island in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea respectively. What does it mean? The Andaman and Nicobar, that is a group of islands lying in Bay of Bengal, and Lakshadweep, that is again another group of islands that is lying in Arabian Sea. Then about the size. Other than size, one more point to discuss, that in Union India, in our country, if we say about the Union India, the southernmost point or southernmost tip of our country, that is Indira Point, the southernmost point of Andaman and Nicobar, which was submerged into water in 2004 tsunami. At that time, this Indira Point that was submerged into water because of that tsunami. Then about the size. About the size, if we say that Indian land mass that has an area of 3.28 million square kilometer, which is the total accounts for about 2.4% of the total world geographical area. So our area is So 3.28 million square kilometer area is covering the whole part of our country, which constitute only 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. So in this way, we can say that India is seventh largest country in the world. Having the land boundary is about 15,200 kilometer, and coastal boundary including Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep, means including both the islands, that is 7,516.6 kilometer. Clear? So we can say about the area of our country, that is 3.28 million square kilometer. So in this way, our country is seventh largest country in the world. So the countries which are larger than India, that are in sequence, that is Russia, Canada, USA, China, Brazil, and Australia. Then comes India. Then comes India is bounded by a young fold mountains in northwest, north, and that is northeast. So if we say in the north, northwest, and northeast, India is bounded by young fold mountains, and that is Himalayan mountain. So south of about 22° north latitude, it begins to taper and extend towards the Indian Ocean, dividing it into two seas. So when our country's location, or that our country's landmass, that is protrude into the Indian Ocean and making two different water bodies towards you can say southeast, or in the southeast direction, that is Bay of Bengal, and in southwest direction it is, that is Arabian Sea. So if we see that about the longitudinal and latitudinal extent of mainland, that difference is about 30°. So that difference is about 30°, despite this fact that the extent that is from east to west, that is shorter than the distance from north to south. So in this way, we can say that from north to south, the distance is 3,214 kilometer, whereas the distance from east to west, that is 2,933 kilometers. Then from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there is a time lag of 2 hours. Why? Because the longitudinal difference is about 30°, and if we calculate the time from this degree, so that will be around 2 hours. There is a difference of sunrise time of Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat, that is of 2 hours. But still all the watches in our country that are showing same time, let it be in Arunachal Pradesh, let it be in Delhi, let it be in Gujarat, or let it be in south part of our country. How does it happen? That means we have taken one standard meridian, that standard meridian having the value of 82°30' east. That is that standard meridian, or that longitude, is passing through Mirzapur near Allahabad in UP. So the time what we observe in or at this standard meridian, we are taking this time as a IST, which is derived from the GMT by taking as a reference. And if we are making the IST, then we are adding 5 hours 30 minutes in GMT time. Suppose to make IST, we are adding 5 hours 30 minutes, and for example, there is 1 o'clock in the afternoon at GMT, then IST, that will be 6 hours, or you can say evening, 6 hours 30 minutes. That is 6 at 6:30 in the evening. That will be the IST if we are taking reference with GMT. So this is because of longitudinal extent. So this is one of the implication of longitudinal extent in our country. And why? One another question arising here, that why we have taken 82 degree 30 east only as a standard meridian. So there are 2-3 reasons why. Because this line, this standard meridian is passing through the center of our country longitudinally, and which is passing from Mirzapur near Allahabad in UP. Second point is that this line is avoiding the confusion between the sunrise time of Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat. Third point, as per the International Observatory, all the standard meridian, that should be multiple of 7 degree 30 minutes. So that should be that should be the multiple of 7 degree 30 minutes. So these are the different reasons why we have selected 82 degree 30 minutes east as a standard meridian. Then comes our latitudinal extent. About the latitudinal extent, if we say the Tropic of Cancer, this is dividing our country into 2 equal parts. Top one is subtropical region and bottom one is, that is, tropical region. So with this, both the regions are having variation, that is different type of variation in the subtropical as well as tropical region. So let it be climate, let it be vegetation, let it be soil, or even so many other factors that will be different in both the regions. So this is the latitudinal extent of our country's location. Then other latitudinal extent, that also we can say that when we see our country, that is southernmost tip of our country, that is Kanyakumari. And in other sense also we can say Kanyakumari is the place which is covered by 3 seas. Right side, that is Bay of Bengal, left side it is Arabian Sea, and bottom side it is Indian Ocean. So this is the Kanyakumari, southernmost tip of our country, which is covered by water or water bodies from 3 sides. Then we are discussing about the latitudinal implications. Second latitudinal implication. See, this Kanyakumari is quite near to equator line, and at equator, if we say equator is, that is also one sort of latitude. So at equator or near equator, the day and night difference is quite less. Why? Because so at equator for 12 hours the sun rays are falling straight and taking very less time to reach the earth. So that time is observed as day, and rest all 12 hours, that is 12 hours, observed as a night. But when we move towards either of the pole, let it be north pole or south pole, then the sun rays are falling in a slant way, or that is sun rays are slanting, reaching late, and even the temperature is also reduced. So in this that we can say that day and time difference, that is also differ because of this latitudinal extent. Then comes about our India's location in context with the world. So India or Indian landmass, it has a central location between East and West Asian countries. So India is a southward extension of Asian continent, and in this way trans-Indian Ocean route. So where it is lying? At trans-Indian Ocean route, which connects the countries of Europe in the west and countries of East Asia, that is in the east. So it is a strategical location what India is having at the southernmost part of Asian continent. Then Deccan Peninsula. So Deccan Peninsula, it protrudes into Indian Ocean and making another two other different water bodies, that is already discussed, Arabian Sea and that is Bay of Bengal. Then because of this coastal line, so India is having, as we have discussed, 7,516.6 kilometer coastal line. So because of that, India is having a lot of benefits, because that coastal line can be used as a waterways, and you know that waterways, that is quite cheap or cheapest mode of transportation. So by this route, India can do the trade with different other countries through this way, and this has made quite easy when in 1869 the Suez Canal that connects Red Sea into Mediterranean Sea in the country Egypt. So that has made more easier for Indian traders and for India to trade with European countries, African countries, and even both the Americas. So all the way Suez Canal, it was opened in 1869, and it has reduced the distance from Europe to India almost about 7,000 kilometers. So in this way, these are the different benefits of our Indian location, which is located at the head of Indian Ocean. Then if we see about the Indian ancient history, so India's contact with the world that have continued through the age, through not only age, through ages, but her relationship through the land routes are as much older than even maritime contacts. Means Indian land routes, these are also quite older. If we say various passes across the mountains in the north that have provided so many passages to travel in different neighboring countries of India. So these routes have contributed in the exchange of ideas like commodities in the ancient period. So ideas of Upanishad, the Ramayana, the story of Panchtantra, the Indian numeral system, decimal system, these could reach because of this route also to different part of the world. So this is also very important, that is land route. That is no doubt ancient time, that route, but still it was very, very beneficial for India also. Then if we say about the neighboring countries of India, so India is having so many neighboring countries like Pakistan, then China, of course Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka and Maldives. So Sri Lanka and Maldives, these are the southernmost island neighboring countries of India. So except Sri Lanka and Maldives, all the countries are sharing the land boundary. But as Maldives is quite far away, but Sri Lanka, in case of Sri Lanka, if we see, as if by looking, we can say that India, that Sri Lanka is sharing the land boundary, but it is not so. This is separated by a Gulf of Mannar and Pak Strait. So here we can say that strait is a narrow passage of water which separate two land boundaries. Or in other sense, we can say strait is a narrow passage of water which connects two water bodies also. So in this way, we can say that India is having these many neighboring countries all the way. So India is having a strong geographical and historical link with these different countries. So with this, our chapter is so with this, our this chapter revision part is over. So thank you for joining God bless you. Bye for the day.